My name is Tennis Sommer, and this is Marbella Life. Today, I'm joined by the lovely Samantha Penfold, co-owner of the beautiful Planta Bistrot in Forum. Samantha has called Marbella home since she was just 3 years old, when her parents moved here for the incredible lifestyle. With an Irish mother and a British father, she grew up with a mix of cultures and ambition. She studied business, law, economics, and languages abroad before returning to Marbella, but ended up working in interior design for a decade until she pursued a lifelong dream, opening her first restaurant, Organic Market and Food, that was a huge success. Later, she founded Keto Royale, Spain's first keto restaurant, driven by her own journey with diabetes. Now, with her latest venture, Planta Bistrot, and soon to be opened Planta Market, she continues to redefine healthy dining in Marbella. Join us as we talk about life, business, and the secrets to her success. But did you feel like you're in Spain, or if you grew up like so internationally, do you feel like you actually like grown up in Spain? Do you feel like you're a bit Spanish in a way, or what nationality do you like
That's a
identify
very
yourself?
good question, because I don't know what I identify as, because in Spain, the way I look, people immediately know I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
Spanish.
giddy.
Totally, and I'm. People talk to me in English all the time when I go places, and I'll answer in perfect Spanish, but they still insist in answering in English.
Like, she's
I'm
trying.
definitely not Spanish here. People were telling us we were crazy. How do you think people will react? Marbella is a party town. People don't want anything healthy.
You need to have champagne and wine.
And what I loved about Organic was we decided not to sell any Coca-Cola, not to sell any meat, and people thought we were crazy at the time. But yes, it was a huge success from day one. I remember the first day we opened was a Saturday, and I remember telling friends and family, oh, please come, make it look full and busy. And by about 11 o'clock, I was calling everyone saying, don't come, we're so busy.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, for example, I can look at my diabetes and I can say, oh, poor me, I've had diabetes all my life. But in the end, that led me to find ways to do more healthy cooking, to find recipes, and to do actually what I'm doing today. But I think that's the sign of telling you if it's going to be successful or not.
Hello, everyone. Here we are with the lovely Samantha in her beautiful home. And I'm really excited to sit down in your house and talk to you. I'm barefoot, having tea, totally different than what I've done. But I love it. I love it.
Great.
So thank you for having
welcome.
us.
It's lovely
Thank
having you.
Yeah. And I mean, I've seen you around the town, obviously, for years and years and years. And I know a little bit what you've done. But to be honest, I was thinking also when I was doing the questions, like, how much do I actually know about you, or what you've done, or what you think, and how you are, and how you live. So I'm really excited to get to know you more.
I think I'm actually quite low-key.
And you are very low-key.
I don't like being the center of attention.
No, and you're not on social media that much, and you're very private.
Yes,
so
yes.
I'm really happy you're letting us in your private space and your life. So if you don't mind introducing yourself and tell me a little bit about your background. Where are you from? Where were you born?
My parents are, my mother's Irish, from Dublin, and my father's from London. And they moved here when I was 3 years old. They bought a house here. They fell in love with Marbella. They fell in love with the lifestyle, the sun, the golf, the sports. And my mother actually spoke Spanish at the time, so it was quite easy for them to do that. And I remember the first day driving down to our new house and looking for our house and moving in. So really, Marbella has been my home forever.
Wow.
I grew up here. I went to school here. And I've seen all the changes and everything that's happened here since.
No.
So a long time.
And what did your parents do as a profession?
So my mother was originally an air hostess for the Irish company, Aer Lingus, and my father had a building company. So that was in England. So he actually was traveling between Marbella and England.
Okay, so he already had some work. Yes. That's why they decided to come here.
Yes, yes.
To do some work. Yes. And obviously you were so young, so you went to an international school?
I went to the German school.
The German school.
At the time when my parents came here, there was the English school and the German school were together. And the English school only took kids from the age of 6. And I was 3. So they took my sister at 6. And my parents thought, well, you might as well go to the same school. So they put me in the kindergarten at 3. And after a few months, I was coming home singing songs in German. And wow. So I stayed. I did the whole school in German.
But did you feel like you're in Spain, or if you grew up like so internationally, do you feel like you've actually like grown up in Spain? Do you feel like you're a bit Spanish in a way, or what nationality do you like
that's a
identify
very
yourself?
Good question, because I don't know what I identify as, because in Spain, the way I look, people immediately know I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
You're
Spanish.
giddy.
Totally. And I'm people talk to me in English all the time when I go places, and I'll answer in perfect Spanish, but they still insist in answering in English.
Like, yeah, she's
I'm
trying.
definitely not Spanish here.
But you speak
perfect
Spanish.
Perfect Spanish. But I don't feel English, because I've never lived in England. I've never gone to school there, and I don't feel fully Irish either.
Maybe you feel more German.
No, I don't feel German. But the funny thing is, when I go to England, they say to me, "Oh, your English is so good. Where are you from?"
Oh my
so
God.
I say, "Well, I'm from Spain."
Oh God, went to German school.
You know, so I do feel, when I'm away from Spain, I feel very Spanish, and when I'm in Spain, I connect with the Spanish culture a lot. But I don't feel fully Spanish either. So yeah.
But then you studied here, but for university you went abroad. You went to London.
I was in London for 2 years. I was in Granada for a year, and I was in Aix-en-Provence in France for a year as well.
And what did you study in those places?
So I did a university course that was business, with law, with economics, and languages. So you had to do all the languages to a very high level to be able to do translation and interpretation as well at the same time. So it was a very positive experience, but it actually isn't anything to do with what I do now.
Yeah. And that happens a lot to people. And that's why I always ask, like, what do you even recommend people to go to university? Like, you have your son now who is in the university. So how do you
I think
feel
everything
about
that you learn in life is going to serve you. So it doesn't matter what you study. If it's something that you like, obviously it's better. But if you study something else, it's going to serve you somewhere along the way. So,
and studying
it's also
business, it doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, of course. And it's also those years from 18 till you're 22, those are years where you still don't know yourself. You're still learning about yourself, and you then start understanding what you want to do and what you like to do.
But what would you recommend someone who is like 18, finished school, not sure if they should go to university because they don't really know what to do? What would you say?
If they know what they want to do and they definitely want to study, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great experience, and definitely. But I don't think it's a must, especially not in this day and age where you see the most successful business people, most of them haven't even finished school. So I really don't think you have to go to university, not anymore.
I think the best thing to say is just go and travel and work. And that's the best life experience.
Some kids want to travel, others don't. My son didn't want to go away. I said to him, you go away for a year or travel or don't study and do something else. But he knew very much that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to study, so he's very happy doing it. Yeah.
Well, and then you were studying abroad, but then in Spain and in France. Yes. How did you make your way back to Marbella then? Did you feel the calling like
Marbella was always my home. So every holiday, Christmas, Easter, always would come home my parents lived here, or my parents were here most of the time. So yeah, it was always home.
But you knew you wanted to come back after the studies. You weren't like, oh, maybe I should stay
No,
in London
my
or
initial
discover the
thought,
world.
I actually went to Brussels to do an interview with the European Community, the European Union, and it was with the Irish department there. But then when I went, I realized it wasn't going to be for me. I couldn't see myself in that kind of an environment.
City and office and very
So
politics
yeah.
and
I could have done, but it wasn't. I knew then it wasn't for me.
the lifestyle, especially coming from Marbella. I think it's such a drastic change.
Yeah.
So then after the university, you coming back to Marbella. Had Marbella already changed back then when the years you were gone, or was it still quite
Well, when we
small
first
place?
came down here, Marbella was very small.
Village.
The main road, you could cross anywhere you wanted to. There was no barrier in the middle. I remember there was one supermarket in the center of Marbella. You drove up a hill where Mango is in the center, up that hill, and there was one supermarket, one big supermarket there.
Wow.
And people used to go to Gibraltar to buy things because you couldn't get them here, or it was a completely different place, completely. Yeah.
So yeah, you're coming back from the university, and then you decided to stay in Marbella.
Yes, decided to stay, and I started working selling real estate for developer. And I did that for a few years. Quite a few years actually. And then a friend of mine who I met at university, she called me one day and she said to me, I have an interview with this real estate company. I'm thinking of moving to Marbella for a year. So I said, yes, come, definitely. So she came and she started working for this real estate company doing after sales, doing the decoration and helping people set up their homes. And we quickly realized there was a huge business in this. And I had always loved decoration and furnishings and anything to do with aesthetics of the home. So we decided to work together. So we worked together for about 10 years. We had our own company and we were busy from day one. We did lots of show houses, show flats, and we never did any advertising. We didn't have any web page or anything, and we were always busy.
Wow, word of mouth.
Yeah, and so she's still doing that today.
Really? What's her name?
Natasha.
Natasha, I don't think
Natasha
I know her. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. But so that's when your love for interior and all of that.
Even when I was younger, I used to love going to markets and finding old furniture and restoring them and painting them. So I was, as a child, or as a teenager, I was either always in the kitchen cooking and baking, or I loved sewing. I do my own little doll clothes. And I did dressmaking classes. So I used to make clothes for myself and for friends, and decoration.
But you never went to study it? Or...
I did think about going to London College of Art, but in the end I didn't.
But what made you choose then business? Because you were so creative actually, and it's such a opposite.
I think I thought to myself it would be better for me.
Like this is something I should be doing, no?
Should be doing rather than really want to be doing.
But then in the end you're proving that you don't need to study art or cooking to have a restaurant and to be in the business. So
actually, when I was 14, 15, I remember speaking to my parents and telling them I'd wanted to go to catering school in Switzerland. So I already then was very, very interested in hospitality. And I remember when I was that age thinking to myself, I'd love to have a restaurant one day. So I already had all of those ideas when I was very young.
Oh, interesting. And here you are. Your parents must be very proud. So then you worked 10 years with your partner, Natasha. And then what happened then? Did you feel like you needed a change, or?
I noticed that clients always wanted the same. At the time, everyone wanted white and chrome and white leather. I honestly got very, very bored of it. To me, it just didn't feel creative in
Exciting.
any way, exciting. And at the time, I had a boyfriend, and he was in the restaurant business. And after a trip to Bali, we were in Bali for a month. We both got so inspired. And he used to say to me, you know, your cooking is so amazing. You have to do something with this. We have to do something with this. So after the trip to Bali, we very, very quickly afterwards opened Organic Market and Food.
I remember that.
Yes.
Because it was such a different, a new thing for Marbella.
Very, very different.
You've been always, I think, ahead of your time a little bit for Marbella. So how was that? I think it was doing good since the beginning.
So,
but I'm not the business owner. So
yeah, no. So when we got the unit, the space, I think we took 2 months and opened.
wow.
I didn't know anything about restaurant business. He did, but I loved the creativity of the decoration, of the furnishings, of the recipes, of the cooking. And I remember opening Organic thinking, now I'm going to do the opposite of what all my clients want. No white, no chrome. It was all greens and woods and naturals. And I was going to the markets and buying secondhand furniture and putting them in there, and all the old cups and saucers and everything mismatched. And
More
it
boho.
was, yeah, it was just completely different to what I had been doing for clients. But yes, it was a huge success from day one. I remember the first day we opened was a Saturday. And I remember telling friends and family, oh, please come, make it look full and busy. And by about 11 o'clock, I was calling everyone saying, don't come, we're so busy.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was such a busy day on the Saturday that on the Sunday we had to close because we didn't have anything left. We'd sold out of everything.
Amazing.
So that was the first day of Organic, and I think since after that it was just busy all the time.
Yeah, I just remember also seeing it when I discovered it. I also thought it's never empty. This place is booming, and I think the market was craving for something like that. No, you didn't really have much competition.
Well, no, there was no competition at the time, and people were telling us we were crazy. How do you think people will react? Marbella is a party town. People don't want anything healthy.
Yeah, you need to have champagne and wine.
So, and what I loved about Organic was we decided not to sell any Coca-Cola, not to sell any meat, and people thought we were crazy at the time.
Yeah, you're going to close down.
Yes.
You're not going to make it.
But
you proved them wrong.
But the good thing was we made people who had normally try alternative things and try plant-based food and try vegan dishes or cakes, and actually made it a lot more normal and mainstream. But it's nothing strange, really.
Yeah, because I think people just haven't tried these kind of dishes. They think vegan had, maybe not the best. Vegan is not. Some people think vegan is bread and I don't know, slice of avocado on it. That's not vegan. There's so many beautiful recipes that you can do. And you had Organic for a long time. How many years did you?
For about 6 years.
6 years, and then you opened
we sold 5 years ago. And that's when I started. My idea wasn't to open another restaurant. I had no idea.
Why?
Well, because I just thought I was going to do something different. I didn't think.
But you enjoyed it.
Organic was an amazing experience. Amazing. Loved every minute of it. It just wasn't in my plans to open another restaurant. And then I started investigating the keto diet because I was diabetic since I was little. So I thought I'll try and see how the low carb affects my sugar levels. And started baking the breads without any flour and all the different alternatives, the cakes, finding healthy alternative sugars. So decided to open Keto Royale, which was actually the first keto restaurant in Spain.
Wow, in Spain?
In Spain.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And how many more there have been after? I can't imagine.
The first in Spain.
So but how is it that you're ahead of the rest? Where's the secret? How do you get this idea?
And I don't think
You
it's
just
really being ahead. It's
a little bit. I mean, of course, there is countries that are
yes,
doing these
yes,
things,
yes,
but just Spain is a little bit
yes.
more behind,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
guess.
I remember when we had organic, we had offers to open restaurants in Seville and in different places. And I just thought, I don't think these places are actually ready for something like that yet. I think they're very traditional. There's interest, but definitely not enough to open a business there.
But you did launch organic in Madrid,
Yes,
so you did expand like a little bit.
yes. We did open organic in Madrid. It was a huge project. It was a 3-story building with a large garden on Calle Serrano.
Which is
We did a yoga basement. We had an events room where we had a lot of very big companies doing events. We had supermarket, shop, and the restaurant.
wow,
So it was big.
and it obviously did well in Madrid.
It did do well in Madrid, not as well as in Marbella. Again, Spanish, mainly Spanish clients. And I still don't think it's maybe now, yes, but this was 6, 7 years ago.
So a little bit too early, maybe.
A little bit too early, maybe.
Yeah, because now there's a lot of healthy kind of foods in Madrid,
Yes.
and yeah, maybe you're ready now. But now you're doing something else.
Now something else again.
Now it's a good. So you went from organic to keto, and then but at the same time you were running organic as well.
No. So we sold organic,
and then you started
and
keto.
then I think it was under a year after then I opened keto.
Okay, but what has been like the biggest challenge for you in hospitality in Marbella? Because a lot of people come here, open restaurants, cafes, and you see them closing down and sometimes in 3 months, 6 months. It's not easy to make it in Marbella. It's such a different market as well.
Yeah.
And also hospitality, it's not an easy business.
I mean, I think with anything you do, if you do it because you really feel it, it works. If you're doing a business or a restaurant or anything you do just to get money from it, it may work, it may not. I think you have to feel what you're doing and you have to live what you're selling.
But sometimes you might be in the wrong place. Let's say opening in, like you said, in Seville, it's not going to work. Well, you love the project so much, but that doesn't mean the market is right for you. You also know the market. It's. I mean, you're taking a risk, obviously, with organic. You took a huge risk. Everyone said this is going to fail, but you said, no, I want to try.
For me, it was a huge risk to open. And I also put everything I had at the time into it. So I went all in with it.
And then,
it paid off. But we were both so sure that this is what we wanted to do, and we were putting everything into it and all our love into it. And the night before opening was actually we the two of us were there and we had tingles. We were so excited. So I think you have to feel what you want to do. I think that's the sign of telling you if it's going to be successful or not. If you just do it because it could be a good business and it's going to make money, but you're not really feeling it, then it can work, but it may not.
But what has been the biggest challenge in opening new restaurants and businesses? What do you think?
Challenges, I think, is trying to get across to your staff how you would like people to be served, how you would like the food to be presented, cooked, prepared. Obviously, they're not going to have the same vision as you. So that's the biggest challenge, is getting them to understand how you would like things.
And having a good team, obviously, you need to have. I hear more and more from entrepreneurs and hospitality people that it's very difficult to find good stuff in Marbella.
There's so many restaurants now in Marbella that staff were coming from other countries,
Mm-hmm.
whereas before there wasn't enough work
Mm-hmm.
for waiters and kitchen staff. Now it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So it does become more and more difficult.
And also, we
Yes.
don't have the young people. Like, let's say in big cities, you have
No,
the people who are in universities or need extra
exactly.
income, and here we don't.
No,
We have a few universities, but usually these kids don't need the extra
they
money.
don't need it.
They're gonna be the customers of your
Definitely,
restaurant.
definitely.
Yeah. So then after, well, let's talk about a little bit about keto.
Mhm.
Keto was obviously another success
Yes,
when you opened
yes.
it. And how was that experience with keto?
Keto was quite easy to run because it was small
Mm-hmm.
and a small number of staff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually in the kitchen for a full year,
Wow.
working in the kitchen
Wow, I didn't know that.
because I wanted to make sure that the
It's
food
perfect.
came out exactly as I wanted it. And after that, when I finished, when I didn't work in the kitchen anymore, it continued to be as I wanted it to be.
Hmm,
So I was very happy with that.
that's
But
good.
I did spend a year in the kitchen.
But I do think you've been in your own restaurants a lot,
Yes,
like visible and
yes,
being there. And I
yes,
see that with a lot of successful businesses that the owner is actually there almost
yes,
every day, and
yeah.
that obviously helps, right?
Yes, but I'm sure there is a formula
Mm-hmm.
to have very successful restaurants
For
and not to
sure,
have to be
for
there.
sure.
I'm sure it's ways of growing
Mm-hmm.
and being able to have
The right.
numerous restaurant or chain and them
Mm-hmm.
all to be working. I think it's about having the key people and knowing how to
Mm-hmm.
delegate.
But you prefer to be there with your soul and be there and
Yes, but it would
uh-huh.
also be nice to be able to delegate more. And I'm learning and letting myself
Uh-huh.
be able to delegate more.
So you find that
Yes.
difficult to delegate.
The first restaurant, I wanted to be on top of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Keto was small, so I was on top of everything at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and then I didn't have to be as much. And now, um, yeah, I'm trying to
Back out.
a little bit, no,
Mm-hmm.
making the important decisions
Mm-hmm.
together with
Mm-hmm.
my business partner.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal is not to have to be on top of everything all the time.
Mm-hmm. And being there every day.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, and after keto, well, what do you feel having with keto? Did you just feel like this project was done for you, or why did you
Um,
decide to close
I
keto?
I was actually approached by John Brentmore
Mm-hmm.
to open something new and fresh
Mm-hmm.
in healthy in Forum,
Mm-hmm.
but I still had keto at the time. And then it took quite a long time to make that decision. But then I partnered with Gerda, and we were actually the first to sign. So we were the first to take the
Mm-hmm.
plunge.
Mm-hmm.
Again, lots of people telling us we were
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Mm.
This project is never going ahead.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
in the end,
Even better. I feel like you like this kind of okay. You think can't do that? I'll show you.
So my idea was to just focus on the new business on Planta Bistrot. Um, and I closed Keto, but bought all the staff from Keto to Planta.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm realizing so many people are asking me
Missing.
about keto and we miss it and we want this dish and we
Mm.
want that dish.
Mm.
So there may be a possibility of opening keto new and improved
Oh,
soon.
nice. But in the same
No,
in the
new
same.
area.
Ah, nice. I love
So
it.
so
I love
anyway,
it.
it's in the pipeline, so possibly.
That's
I didn't
amazing.
realize there was so
Mm-hmm.
much following, so many
That's
people.
sweet. But I don't think there is anything still like keto in
No, there
Marbella.
isn't. No,
So
no.
yeah, you could have kept it easily, no?
I
And
know, now I
but
realize, but anyway,
uh,
it will be
but
new,
it's
it will be new and improved.
yeah, it's always I think people still like
Yes,
new things and
yes, yes,
improved
yes,
and all of
yes,
that. I think that's why also it's good to move away from the project. Like
yes,
organic was
yes,
great
yes.
for me also. I feel like I'm done with organic
I
now.
know.
Now
Yeah.
I love to come to Planta. I think people always crave for newness
Yes,
and
yes.
I love new places always.
Mm.
So now you have Planta Bistro, which I honestly love. I love it,
No, thank you.
and yeah, I love the menu. But I love the fact that you have the option of having fish and meat
Yes,
if you like it. To add it to each dish,
exactly.
because like we were talking about earlier, I am very flexible with my eating. I like plant-based foods a lot, but I do like salmon. I do like eat meat sometimes, so I like having all these options
Mm.
in a place.
Yeah, I don't believe in extremes. I don't think it's good
Me
to be
too.
extreme in anything you do or how you live or how you eat. So, basically I enjoy plant-based eating. Um, but sometimes I feel like having some fish, and sometimes I like to have a bit of meat. I don't. I'm not extreme in any way. Most of our cakes are healthy cakes. We have gluten free, we have vegan, we have sugar free. But sometimes you feel like a naughty piece of cake, and you eat it, and it's fine. There's not,
Yeah, but exactly, it's not naughty in the
no,
end,
I know, but
because
it's
yeah,
considered
yeah,
naughty.
yeah, but
But I think it's everything about balance, and as my grandmother used to say, everything in moderation. So yeah, that's why it's main the menu at Planta is, each dish is based on plants or vegetables or but you can add to it. So it's actually works for everybody.
but it's obviously very good ingredients as well.
Yes,
It's not
yes,
just
exactly. So we do everything ourselves. We don't buy anything pre-made. We source a lot of our vegetables are from a local farmers. So we're working with a company who has employed small local farmers from the Malaga region and is teaching them how to be sustainable, how to not use pesticides, how to not use fertilizers. And these are all
That's
small
amazing.
farms that were actually dying.
Mm,
But now that they've taken them on and showing them how and how to work and how
that's
to
lovely.
do things.
I need to meet him. Maybe we
Yeah,
should talk to him
yes, yes.
and help
So
his business grow.
definitely,
This is such a
definitely.
cool initiative.
Yes.
That's lovely.
It's
Yeah,
a very lovely project.
yeah. But also, I mean, you've done Planta and you work with that, but you've also helped other businesses. You've been also like a consultant
Yes,
to even Puente
yes,
Romano.
yes.
And how when did that work come to you, and how did you
Well,
approach them,
no,
or
no, no,
they
no.
found you?
Yes.
I mean, not easy to everyone knows you. But
Well, it's the same ways now as Planta Romano Marbella Club. Very, very high end, very successful hotels here in Marbella, the two top hotels. Um, and they do have the nightlife and they do have all the brand names of the restaurants, but they realize also they need something healthy and something a bit more natural and real. Again, to have a bit of the combination. The Marbella Club is very much about wellness, and Puente Romano has a part of that also.
so how do you approach then like a luxury fine, luxury dining with healthy menu? How do you how did you create those menus, or what did you keep in mind?
Well, I think that it works very well together. People who like to live well or have the money to live very well go to luxury places, but they also look after themselves. They do sports and they eat well. So I think it works very well together, having the luxury and the healthy side of things.
Yeah, I think overall Marbella people are very invested in
Very
health.
much, very
Yeah, like I
much.
said, there is the party side,
Yeah,
but I think Marbella people tend to find the balance, and they're
yeah,
very, very invested in health and wellness and looking good, feeling good, like
definitely.
everything good. That's
Yeah,
why I
yes,
also love the Marbella
yes, yes,
lifestyle. You see, people are just like beautiful in all the way because they really take care of themselves.
yeah,
The old 80-year-olds are running in the paseo and, eating the healthy food. And already the
definitely.
Mediterranean diet is
Of course,
the healthiest
of
in the
course.
world, but this is like another level. Planta is like on another level. But do you still, I mean, you have done so much cooking. Do you still cook at home when you come home? Or do you
I
feel like you're
I
done?
always cooked,
Hmm.
and it's never been an effort for me to cook.
Mm.
And I've loved cooking for everyone, and for myself, I don't cook huge meals. I'll
Mm-hmm.
prepare something
Simple.
easy, but I always want it to look nice on the plate
Mm-hmm.
and taste really good. If
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look nice and taste good, I won't eat it. So I cook when there's an occasion
Mm-hmm.
or when there's someone to cook for. I enjoy it, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't cook now on a daily basis,
Mm.
though.
But what is like your signature dish that everyone knows? Like, Samantha, you have to do this.
I
Like,
don't. I
oh,
don't
you have
actually have a
everything.
signature.
Everything
I
is
don't have a
good.
signature dish. I remember the cheesecake that
Ah.
I always made was actually a recipe my mother brought back from a bakery when she lived in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and she always used to make this cheesecake for us. And then I took over the recipe and I started making it. And it's actually was one of the top sellers that we had in organic.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting. So
that
I'm from
cheesecake.
came from San Diego
Yes,
to
exactly.
Marbella. That's how it works.
Mm.
But do you travel also a lot for inspiration and things? Do
I
you?
think traveling is very important for
Yeah.
inspiration. I think it's the best way. If you're always in your little
Mm-hmm.
bubble, you don't see and you don't get inspired. Also, when you're traveling, you're more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're more relaxed, you actually become more creative
Mm-hmm.
and you can see things that you wouldn't normally see if you're stressed and in your little environment all the time.
Mm.
So, definitely, it's very important to travel and see the world a bit and get out.
Yeah, but then also run a business
Of
and
course,
then
I mean,
raise a child
now,
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
play different roles. But
Yeah.
how have you managed to kind of do it all? Or is there a secret to doing it all? Or how do you balance your life with everything? Not to work too much, not to,
I think
what's
it
the
goes in
secret?
at different stages. That when you're obviously when you first open a business, I think you have to be very invested and be there and be involved and spend a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go through phases where maybe you have more time and you want to do something new. So you travel, get inspired, and then you can come back and do something different in your business and
Mm-hmm.
make changes. Um, yeah, it's different stages and different moments in your
Mm-hmm.
life.
And now is the stage two. What?
Now is obviously now the new business. Gerda and I are very much hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
We are there nearly every day, and we still have the downstairs part to open.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about that. What kind of
So
happened
we have
downstairs?
Planta Market and Planta Bistro. The
Mm-hmm.
bistro is upstairs, and that will be opened in October. And then we have the Planta Market, which is a bit of a concept store.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have takeaway food and cakes and breads, lots of gluten-free, healthy options. We have the first biodynamic organic wine shop in Marbella.
Mm.
There isn't anything like it. There's all the cutlery, crockery, plates, dishes, everything for sale because people have
Mm-hmm.
always asked both of us, where did you get this and where can
Mm-hmm.
I buy this?
Mm-hmm.
And basically everything that you see, any decoration, the lamps, even the onions and
Mm-hmm.
garlics that are hanging,
Mm-hmm.
everything's for sale. We'll have fruit and vegetables. We have decoration bits, flowers also. So it's
Sounds
a
like a
market
fun shop.
space, and it's also an event space. So it's a very adaptable space that we can remove things, add things,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had events there with dinners for 60 people.
Mm-hmm.
We can do show cooking. We have
Mm-hmm.
a show kitchen where people have always asked us, both Gerda and I, can I have cooking lessons?
Mm-hmm.
Can we do cooking classes for kids? Can we
Mm-hmm.
do healthy cake classes?
Sounds
So
sounds like something
we
I'm
have the
interesting to.
space now to do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So there's always room for businesses,
Yes,
really.
yes,
Like it's never
yes.
ending in Marbella, even though it's grown immensely, during
Mhm.
these years. I think there's still so much space for and just another different business. And how do you see Marbella, throughout all of these years? What has been like the biggest change or something that has shocked you or surprised you, or how do you see
Um,
Marbella?
well, obviously the growth is
Mm-hmm.
huge. If we'd have known back then what we know
Mm-hmm.
now,
What would you have done differently? Bought more real
I
estate?
would definitely have bought more real
Uh-huh.
estate, definitely. Um, that's obviously the biggest
Mm-hmm.
change is the growth. Um, and also when I went to school here,
Mm-hmm.
everyone was dying to get to 18 years old and be able to leave Marbella because everyone wanted to go and study somewhere or travel somewhere or do something different. Whereas now Marbella is the place that everyone wants to come to and all the young people want to come to. So it changed. Marbella in the wintertime was dead. Marbella Old Town, there was nothing in the winter. It was so quiet. Yeah, we couldn't wait to leave and go to London or Madrid or somewhere exciting. Whereas now Marbella is a very, very exciting place and everyone wants to be here.
Yeah, I think the winter season is the best season.
Yeah,
For the
exactly.
locals, always, everyone, we love the winter. It is like a lot quieter, but I think we love this quietness, and there is still things going on.
Oh, always something going on.
But different kind of things.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's a lovely.
And I think Marbella, you can have the party lifestyle, you can have the relaxed lifestyle, you can be very spiritual, you can do anything. It adapts to everyone's lifestyle.
I love it too. And this is a perfect mixture of everything. And if you would have to say maybe what would be like, what would be the biggest like reason for your success or biggest tips that you can give to someone? Because you haven't studied hospitality, you haven't studied even cooking, you studied business, you travel, but why do you think you've been so successful with this?
But I think, like I said before, I think it's very important to do things that you love to do.
Your passion.
If you love what you're doing, then you're going to do it with passion, and you're going to do it happily. You're not going to get up in the mornings and think, "Oh, I have to go to work."
But you're obviously very hands-on as well. You're not scared of, like you said, I'm cooking in the kitchen, I'm doing this. So you're very adaptive, probably hardworking and determined, and you don't want to give up. So, because there's a lot of people who are passionate and we have ideas, but then to actually carry them through, find the right people, find investors if you need, because you can't do it all. You have to have a team and find partners. You have the right people. So
yeah, I very much go with your gut feeling. I think we all really know, but we don't listen to ourselves enough.
And where have you learned that?
Where have I learned that? I think just in life you
experience.
learn. Yeah.
But you don't listen to any podcasts, or do you have any mentors or some
I
kind of
do very
spiritual
much.
teachers?
I mean, I love Abraham Hicks. I listen to her very, very much. Enrico Rueda. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's Catalan, and he's very much does bio-neuro-decoding. So it looks at not only the physical, so the bio is if we have an ailment or if we have a disease, it looks at where it's coming from emotionally. And also then the neuro is our coding. We come with a programming, a coding of our parents, our ancestors. And we tend to do things thinking we're making the decision. We're taking those choices, but actually a lot of it comes from our programming and our family. So yeah, those are very much people who I've listened to a lot and who I've learned a lot from.
And do you know Bruce Lipton? Are you interested in his work? He's talking about how genes can actually be altered through our environment. That a lot of they say, oh, this is genetic disease. Like people are okay, like you have no say. No, he said we can actually switch on and off some genes with their environment, and also power the mind and all these interesting.
And it's our perception of things and how we see things and how we want to see things changes what happens in our lives very much.
Yeah, I just wish they taught that in school
Yes.
and gave us these books to choose from rather than forcing us to read some things that are not very, very useful. I've been thinking really about the school system lately and talking to people, and it's something that really needs to change, I think.
It does. I don't know if we can change it.
Or maybe someone can create a new kind of school.
Well, there's a whole new business, I mean, for schools.
I think that could be a huge thing.
Definitely.
Or even like, let's say, after school or homeschool groups or something with schooling. I think it's...
The Montessori school here is growing. It's it started only with a few years now. I think it's getting quite big, and I think a lot more people are interested in that kind of education. It's not all about what you learn in the books. It's about learning how to live also.
Yeah, I wish it would grow, and if someone wants to do it, then I'm super happy supporting that business. I think it's amazing. But let's talk a little bit about Marbella. So I know we're like far away from it now. It's peace and quiet here. But when you go out, where do you like to go, and what do you do in your free time?
Go out in the evenings. I love Marbella Club. It's a classic. But I love going into the old town. I like the paseo, the front. I love walking along there. And then it's nice to also get out into the country, which is very, very close. And then we're lucky enough in Marbella to have Sierra Nevada, be able to go skiing, and the airport's so close you can fly anywhere very quickly. So we're in a very privileged place.
Yeah, we live in the perfect place, in my opinion. I'm biased, but I love living here. But what kind of trends do you see Marbella? What are the upcoming trends, do you think, in Marbella? Or you don't want to say it because you want to do something?
I don't really know the trends. I mean, I think definitely lifestyle, health. I think after COVID, a lot of people changed and tried to live a more healthy lifestyle, more relaxed, not so stressful, and enjoy life more rather than just think of work and obligations. It's actually to be able to relax and feel good relaxing and enjoy your free time.
But I see actually a trend that I see around the people. I see a lot of actually non-alcoholic drinks making a huge rise, and also the availability in the restaurants and in Forum as well. I know this, you can have non-alcoholic wine and sparkling wine, and this is something that is definitely new. And I think this is a trend that is, like you said, people are so health conscious that's amazing that there you have this.
I think young people are actually drinking a lot less. You see teenagers growing up, they're not even vaguely interested, whereas years ago everyone was out drinking. Whereas now I see there's definitely a change in the young people. And I actually heard a very interesting study that was done. They said that in 20 years' time, drinking will be like smoking is today. Whereas everyone used to smoke, and it was fine. You could smoke inside, you could smoke anywhere, and it was normal. So they're saying in 20 years' time, drinking alcohol will probably be the same.
I fully agree, because I see it happening with my friends, and I see it happening also in the restaurants, because they're offering this. That obviously there's a demand for this, so that's amazing. I'm super happy about that change. Obviously, I love a glass of wine or two, but of course, in the end, we know alcohol is not good for us, for our bodies, and also we are the examples for our children as well. So if we are drinking non-alcoholic wine, then they're also going to be like, oh,
so there is already a change in the young people.
That's great. And how health conscious are you about your life and your lifestyle choices and the beauty products, plastic surgery, all of that? How do you feel about it?
I don't think I'm extreme in my choices. I try to be more healthy. I try to avoid
processed food, probably.
Exactly, very much processed. All the fizzy drinks, all the sugars, all these things. I don't even enjoy it. So I don't. It's not even an effort.
So you never have a Coca-Cola?
No, never, ever. My son actually never tried a Coca-Cola, and he's 18.
Wow.
It was something that was not ever around us. And he'd never even wanted to try.
I'm trying to keep my kids from it, and she's 6, so I've done 6 years and I push. But it's difficult. They tell me Coca-Cola everywhere because they see it in the chairs. Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. And why is he drinking Coca-Cola? I said that people make their own choices. It's bad for you, but they know it's very difficult to explain to a child that why do people do these bad things? Well, it's their choice.
Exactly. So
but well done for for your son. But I guess you are an example to him. No, he sees.
Yeah,
He
well,
sees
I
you.
remember when he was little, and I used to give him always the vegetables that I made. I never bought the bought food. All the juices I always made myself. So he was very much used to very natural eating. And I remember going to a friend's house once when he was probably about 3, and the mother said, "Oh, would you want a juice?" So he said yes. He had the juice and he put it in his mouth, and his reaction was, "Ah, it's it's horrible." And it
Wow.
was just because it was not a natural juice, and it was the processed flavor that was like a shock to him. So
Wow.
yeah.
So he's very health conscious probably
Yeah,
now.
he's not that health conscious. He
But
knows how to eat healthily, but again, he's not extreme. Same way as I'm not extreme either.
and how are you with like beauty, let's say beauty products, like what you buy, or obviously you want to use perfume, but
Yes,
like
yeah,
how like I know you don't go to extremes, but
yeah.
where do you draw the line for yourself?
I'm not obsessive about it. For example, I don't use deodorant. It may sound funny, but I think if you're clean, you don't actually need it. And I know it's very bad for your lymphatic system. And perfume, I don't spray it on my body. I'll put some
The
on
clothes.
the clothes, which I know when you smell it, it's also toxic, but it's not as toxic as putting it on your skin. And again, creams and soaps. Um, I can't say I only use organic. I don't. I do use normal products also. But again, I do like using some organic products. Yeah. Um, hairdressing, nails, I do. I do all of those things. So I can't say I'm fully natural in
Yeah,
all of that.
but you probably go to Naribo,
I do.
which is the
I go
most
next door.
natural probably.
Yes,
You can
exactly.
you can
But
still
I think it's
choose.
been around forever. And I think the products nowadays are better than before. Women have always bleached their hair and been blonde and put fake eyelashes on and put lipstick on. So it's existed always. And I think now there's probably a lot healthier versions available to us.
But surely I mean, you look amazing and you feel like you're glowing. Surely you've noticed it, like on your skin, the way you eat, it affects so much. Like you said, if you don't even need deodorant, it means your body is very clean, and you must see the benefits of eating really
Oh,
clean
definitely. I
on your
notice.
skin.
I
And
notice when I eat better, I feel better, and when maybe when I'm traveling and there's not the option to eat exactly how I want to, you notice it after a while. I feel like I need to come home and get into my routine again.
But do you have any beauty tips? Something that
Beauty
you
tips.
do, or some routines that you do, or like, okay, we're
I
talking
don't.
about
I don't
cold
really have. I
plunge.
don't really have.
I mean, cold plunge
Beauty.
is amazing for your body,
Yes.
your skin, your
Definitely.
for
And
the
I,
beauty
I, I
overall.
did that last year every day and I loved it. It made me feel very, very good. Love that. But one thing I do every morning is I have the juice of 3 lemons with water. And then I put in lots of my different drops. I have that every morning. I think that's very cleansing.
What are the different drops?
So I use ashwagandha. I use milk thistle, which is very good for the liver. I use nettle. So
Iron
different,
rich
yeah,
for the body.
different drops. And then I try, if I can, every day have 2 celery juices
Why
in the
two?
morning
Why
to
is
have
one not
to have
enough?
enough
Uh,
amount. So I have 2 of those.
okay.
And then after that, I'll try and have, if I have enough time and if I can, if I'm at Planta, I'll have a heavy metal detox smoothie.
Smoothie. So
So
you
that's
follow.
wild blueberries. It has cilantro in it. It has barley grass powder in it. And again, that's very, very detoxing.
Yeah, and help to bring
So
out the heavy
if I
metal.
can, I'll have all of that every day. And then after that,
So you follow the work of Anthony
yes,
then.
very much. Very much.
Because my sister is always telling me about the heavy
Yes,
metal did
yes,
so
yes,
I have also barley grass and all
yes,
these
yeah.
but obviously I don't do it daily, but
No,
I
but as
I do it
often
as
as I
much as
can,
yeah,
I do.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
And I do give it to my kids as well
yes,
sometimes, so
yes.
they drink
Get
it
used
too.
to it.
So that's amazing. You need to show us some of the drops and
Yes,
amazing things you have in your
definitely.
kitchen. But I've been doing this lemon water since, I don't know, since I heard about it, and it's like become a habit that I don't even think
You need it in
I
the morning,
I wake
really.
up 7 a.m. and I'm already doing the lemon without,
Yes,
but I don't
yes.
put three lemons. Why
No,
three lemons? I put half a
no,
lemon.
no, no. I
I'm like,
actually squeeze 3 lemons
okay,
and
because I do
do
have
a big glass of
I
it.
have a lemon tree in my house. So I'm
Yes.
really lucky also. I
Yeah,
get to
like
take
here.
it, but I didn't even know that you have to have
Mm.
three
Well, no,
lemons.
you don't have to.
But I guess
Obviously,
it's more beneficial
yeah. The
to.
more you have, the better.
I'm gonna have three lemons. So, but I recently also discovered also the mushroom, like super
Yes,
mushrooms, let's
yes.
say. So I love lion's mane
Yeah, I have lion's mane.
because it's
I take it.
amazing. I had one today, like drops today before coming here,
Yes,
and then I love also the shiitake and
yes,
reishi,
yes.
amazing for sleep. And I have a friend actually, she's been using sleeping pills to
Hmm.
sleep. She had trouble sleeping, and then I gave her the reishi spray, and she said, I haven't used
Yeah, I have
a
the
sleeping pill,
powders here also.
and I use it as a liquid, but she also has I bought her a spray, so it's a bit easier
Hmm.
to spray,
Hmm.
and she said she loves it as well. So I'm super obsessed now with this, and like wondering why is no one telling us
I
about
know.
this.
That's the thing.
But
There's so many things in nature that we can take that help us so much.
no,
But
but it's all coming back. We're all going
it is.
back. So final a few questions before we wrap up. We didn't talk really about, you have a very positive mindset also,
Hmm.
I can see.
Hmm.
You're
Hmm.
not, you know, you're probably solution oriented,
Hmm.
no? Where do you get that mindset? Is that something your parents have taught you? Have they been like that? Or is it something that you think it's your characteristic? Or
I'm not sure. Maybe it's a combination.
hmm,
I think my parents managed to have a very um, positive life here
mm-hmm,
between going back to England and being here. And I think they found a very good balance between work and being here and
mm-hmm,
enjoying the sun, enjoying playing golf, enjoying having lunches,
mm-hmm,
enjoying having wine at lunch,
mm-hmm,
um, and having that balance. But very much the positive, I think, comes from Abraham Hicks,
mm-hmm,
where and also Enrico Rivera, where you realize what you think and what you um, talk
mm-hmm,
and you say affects everything that happens in your life.
mm-hmm,
And Enrico Rivera says people that you are having problems with or situations that you're having problems with, instead of seeing them as a negative and
mm-hmm,
fighting against them, you actually have to embrace it,
mm-hmm.
even though it's very, very difficult sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace it and see it as an opportunity to grow
Mm-hmm.
rather than a problem.
Yeah. It's yeah, but like I said, it's easier to said than done, and I
Yes,
feel the same. I
yes,
always try to think, why did that happen to me? It's not great, but it's gonna be great for something
yes,
if I make
yes.
it something.
Like, for example, I can look at my diabetes and I can say, oh, poor me, I've had
Mm-hmm.
diabetes all my life. But in the end, that led me to find ways to do more healthy cooking,
Mm-hmm.
to find recipes, and to do actually what I'm doing today.
Mm-hmm.
I started looking at how foods affect your body,
Mm-hmm.
how foods affect your blood sugar levels. So it was actually something beneficial
Mm-hmm.
that I may not be doing what I do today if I
Yeah.
hadn't had that.
Yeah. But it's all in your mindset,
Yeah.
because if you had a victim mindset,
Yes.
you would be
Yes.
crying to everyone how
Yes.
sad your life
Yes.
is because
Yes.
you're sick.
Yes.
So really, mindset, I feel like it's everything.
It is.
It's not like they say you are what you eat, but we are what we
We
think,
think
and
and
we
what
are
we
what we
say.
talk, and our actions, and it's all has to
Mm,
be aligned. So
mm.
um totally agree on that with you. And what about manifesting and goals for the future? How is it with that? Do you believe in that, or you want to be more in the moment, or what is your let's say
Oh,
idea about that?
I definitely believe in the power of manifestation.
Hmm.
I've had various things in my life where I have been able to manifest
Hmm.
very, very clearly. But obviously, they say the things that you have more issues with are more difficult to manifest.
Such
The
as
easier things
uh-huh,
are easy to
uh-huh,
manifest.
hmm,
So the things that are more important to you are the ones that are more
mm,
difficult to manifest
mm,
because you have more resistance to them.
hmm,
What do I want to manifest for my future? I think for my future, it's very important for me to have time for myself, and to be able to live in peace and comfortable where I am, and be able to find the balance between work and personal time better than I do now. I can't imagine myself not working and not creating something. I think I'd get very bored if I didn't do that. But yes, I would like to manifest more time for myself.
I'm sure you will, because also moving here is
Yes.
definitely, you're moving
Yes,
that way.
yes.
Because if you were living 5 minutes from Planta, I'm sure you would
before I moved here, I was living 5 minutes.
you're probably going there more often as you would have wanted to. So now people also know that, oh no, probably better don't call Samantha, she's not gonna come. So you're already at least making more time for yourself by living a bit away in the countryside. It's beautiful here. So if there is any kind of life motto that you live by, or some kind of sentence that you like, then what would it be?
I love the saying, everything works out in the end, and if it doesn't work out, it's not the end.
Oh, that's so lovely. But it is the end of the podcast, I'm afraid. But it's not the end. Obviously, with Samantha, you will see her if you visit Planta Bistrot, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen downstairs. I can't wait to visit.
Thank you. We'll be opening very soon.
Yeah, and I will put also your Instagram handle so people can follow the business and see what's next. I'm really excited.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for your time, and we'll see you very soon.
Yes.
Thank you. This episode is brought to you by Sandon, a family-run furniture company with a brand new flagship store in Forum, Marbella.